He said he was sorry. I told him we're good. But what he did to me is still eating me on the inside. I'd like to believe that I've really forgiven him. But how do I know? Hey, welcome back everybody. Pastor John here. As a pastor, I've been asked this question many times in different ways. How do I know if I've really forgiven that person who hurt me? And I think a lot of the uncertainty that we feel is a result of confusion as to what forgiveness really is. Forgive and forget, some say. I haven't forgotten, nor am I likely to do so. Have I forgiven? Some say forgiveness is releasing yourself from that person who did you wrong. But how do I know that? One minute I feel that I am released from that person's offense. The next minute it's right there with me again. You know what I'm saying? Ephesians 4:31 instructs, "Forgive one another, even as God in Christ forgave you." The first question we need to ask is, how has God forgiven me? And I like to suggest that fundamentally, God's forgiveness is a promise. Listen to this promise from Isaiah 43 and verse 25. Even I am he who blots out your transgressions for my own sake. I will not remember your sin. Did you catch the promise? I will not remember your sin. This is different than forgetting. Forgetting is passive, the result of our weak minds. God does not forget. He makes us a promise to actively remember our sin no more. He's able to do this by absorbing the debt of sin himself. His own Son dying in our place to pay for our sin. He does this through a transaction, transacting with us who have sinned against him. A transaction that is conditioned on confession of sin. If we confess our sin, 1 John 1:9, he is faithful and just to forgive us our sin and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness. Let me sum this all up. By his own grace, at his own expense, he offers us a deal. That if we confess our sin, he will make us a promise to remember our sin no more. He will take our sin and he will bury it in the bottom of the ocean, never to be seen again. Cast it as far as the east is from the west. This is our template for forgiving that person who so wronged you. Talk to them. If they confess, forgive them. Make them a deal, a promise to remember their sin no more. This means not bringing it back up to them again. Not bringing it up to others. Not bringing it back up to yourself again. And before the Lord, working at keeping that promise of forgiveness. How do I know if I've really forgiven that person? Do you have a biblical view of forgiveness? If you have really extended forgiveness to that person, the real question is, are you keeping your promise? Or are you continuing to hold that offense against them? If you'd like to know more about the beauty of being forgiven by God, or how to extend forgiveness to others, let me commend to you a book that has had great impact in my life. A book entitled From Forgiven to Forgiving by Jay Adams. Until next time, may the word of Christ dwell in you richly in all wisdom.